So what we got here is technically an inline injection sprayer, commonly referred to as a hydroforce injection sprayer. What this does is allow you to make up a concentrate of pre-spray in this 5-quart jug that in theory makes about, let's say, about 9 gallons of ready-to-use pre-spray. So rather than stopping and filling up a pump-up sprayer or an electric sprayer, you're getting 9 gallons, which is usually more than enough to clean a large-size home. This block here is called the DEMA valve, and it does the metering. And it has a little tip in here that you can change out. These things come with a collection of tips to get ratios from running no tip of 4:1 all the way up to, I don't know, 1:64, something ridiculous like that. And the more concentrate the solution, the smaller the hole in the tip it'll be. And what happens is it gets plugged up from powdered pre-sprays and rubber from your hose and metal bits and whatnot, and you end up getting a dilution that's usually a whole lot weaker than you think. Plugged filters, there's an acorn filter in here. Oftentimes there's another filter on the end of the gun to keep the T-jet or V-jet from plugging up. As those get filled up with crud, they can affect your dilution, as well as operating pressure, temperature, all sorts of variable things that can change the outcome of your dilution. So what I'm going to show you how to do is a bucket test. I'm going to get this up to speed. I'm actually going to remove the yellow 8:1 tip in here because I got to run a 4:1 chemical on this particular job. And what I'm going to do is fill it up with water, continue to run it, filling up a measured bucket, counting the gallons, and then I'll know exactly how much pre-spray I'm producing with no tip in there. I'm going to guess it's going to be somewhere around 5 or 6 gallons, but who knows. This is a 4-year-old unit, and it's worn out. I wouldn't say it's worn out, but it has some wear, so it's going to be hard to predict. But once I'm done with that bucket test, I'm going to be able to accurately measure and dispense the pre-spray on each and every project. Granted, I will go through more pre-spray at 4:1, but most of the size homes that I do, it should be just about the right amount. If you're let's call it a premium carpet cleaner, you're probably mixing up a different pre-spray for every job anyways, adding different boosters, deodorizers, who knows. So you don't really want an all-day supply of pre-spray anyways. We'll leave that more for the carpet hacks and the franchises that, one chemical does it all, or it doesn't come out, ma'am. I'm sorry. Anyhow, let me put a pause on here and show you what that tip looks like. I'll be right back. Okay, so there's the assembly. It's rather basic. This one doesn't have any hose clamps on there, which this hose, depending on how much solvent you run through your pre-spray, will get hard and eventually break. This one's on the new side, been recently replaced, and no problem. You always want to keep a fine mesh filter on here. 50 seems to be about perfect, and that keeps the powders and whatnot out of your DEMA. As you can see, the little yellow tip there, that's the 8:1, so real easy to pull that out. There you go. Pull the hose off, just unscrew it. But notice the hole in there, and you can see how tiny it is. You're not really seeing any light through there. So now we're going to run it without. That's a substantial difference in hole size. So 8:1, 4:1. So you can imagine the size of the hole on the 32 or 64, almost non-existent. All right, so I'm set up, ready to go. I got it filled to about normal height with just water. I have a 2-quart measured bucket, so I'll be able to accurately tell what I'm producing. I got the truck operating at my normal pre-spray adjustment, which I would say is about 600 psi, with the throttle going full bore and the heat set to low. These things can stop pumping if you get the water too hot, and if you got a hot summery day and your water is over 150 degrees coming out, it's going to barely draw. So keep that into consideration throughout the year, weather changes, first job, last job of the day, and whatnot. So here we go. Uh-oh, what's going on here? Let's turn the valve, that'll help. Of course, you're going to get a little splashing. Try and keep that tip going, under the water so it doesn't all slosh out. And let's keep track. Okay, lo and behold, all done, and it produced 8 gallons exactly, right down to the last drop. Which, without the meter, I'm pretty happy about that. I think I'll continue to go meterless for a while because I know I can do most of my jobs with 8 gallons of ready-to-use pre-spray. And why did I do this video? Because you, as a carpet cleaner, doesn't want to waste money on chemistry, should know exactly what you're putting out. Keep in mind, if you're running a water softener, either on board or filling your tank with soft water, you can usually cut your chemistry in half. So instead of 2 ounces, put 1 ounce. And see the same benefit with that soft water. But at 8-to-1, if I'm using a 2 ounce per gallon powder, like most are, I have a water softener, I'm going to put 8 ounces in there. If I want to boost it with peroxide, I'll probably put half an ounce per gallon, so let's say 4 ounces total, and that should be plenty. So run the test. Doesn't matter if you're running a portable, an Aerotech, or a 370. You want to know these numbers so you know what you're putting out. If you overuse, you're going to leave residues. Underuse, you're going to be fighting, not doing as good a job. That video. For more nerdy stuff just like this, make sure to join us on mikeysboard.com, where we have a 13-year database and thousands and thousands and thousands of discussions just like this on every nerdy aspect of the carpet cleaning industry. If it hasn't been asked in this board yet, it probably just doesn't exist. All right, we'll see you in the next video.